Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is the Lord Mayor reading, starting at page 2768, The New Life in 1949. Explaining, he stated, this is Baba stated, the literal carrying out of the conditions will start after October 15. I am trying my best to help you as much as I can so that all of you may be able to stick to me until the end. There is absolutely no question of any tests or trials. What is there left to test? After all the years you have been with me, it is a fact that the new life is going to be very difficult, hard, exacting, and in certain respects, disastrous. It will be foolish for anyone to presume that I will purposely create situations that will compel anyone to leave me. Why should I do that? For example, I could easily have asked Don to go to the West and do a particular duty there for me, and he would have had no reason to be dissatisfied in doing that. Once we start on the new life, everyone will have to bear the consequences of his weaknesses. If they are not checked and controlled in the way these are expected to be checked and controlled according to the conditions. Although I have already made it absolutely clear that I will bear no responsibility of any kind for anyone, still, I desire that those who have said yes remain with me to the end. And by way of helping them concretely, I have decided to look upon the first 2.5 months stay, the first 2.5 months stay at Belgaum as for the purpose of the preliminary training of the companions for the ultimate way of life of complete renunciation. When the point of Kakabaria carrying some money with him was discussed, Baba clarified, we will have to make a provision for the dumb animals that will be in the party. And therefore, after the 1st of January, 1950, no one should expect a single pea or cent or pie. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but
Yeah,
it means
bye.
a
Bye.
penny. Yeah. To be spent by Kaka on anyone under any circumstances except for fodder for the animals and absolutely unavoidable repairs to the caravan. Even in this serious atmosphere, Baba remained his usual genial self, enjoying listening to jokes and stories and playing indoor games and 7 tiles during suitable intervals. At one point, smiling at some joke, Baba mused, "Thank God we can still laugh." Throughout the month of September, discussions continued and plans were finalized. Baba often went to Mehrabad to dictate further instructions for winding up everything and for the Yeswalas' future lives. On the 6th, he visited Kushrug quarters in the morning and gave instructions for Adi's sister, Piroja, her family, and others there. On Sunday, 11 September 1949, Baba dictated a list of personal belongings each companion would be permitted to have with him or her. These were all they were to bring with them when they came to Meherabad on 1 October. And it was emphasized that it would have to last them the whole of the new life. 2 thick cotton kaftnis, the long robes, 1 white and 1 blue, 1 brown woolen kaftni, 1 rough blanket, 1 woolen suit, 1 cotton or silk suit, 2 shirts, 1 woolen, another cotton or silk, 2 pajamas, 2 cotton t-shirts, 3 pairs of socks, 1 woolen, 2 cotton, 4 langodis, those are the loincloths or underwear, 4 handkerchiefs, 1 bath towel, 1 face towel, 1 tin suitcase, maximum size 2 by 1.5 feet by 9 inches, 1 cloth bag, which can be hung from the shoulders, 1 lota or mug, 1 thali or plate, 1 spoon, 1 teaspoon, 1 toothbrush, 1 toothpaste tube, 1 small hand mirror, 1 shaving set with blades, 2 bars of soap, 1 pair of boots, shoes, or slippers. Those in the habit of using wristwatches, spectacles, and false teeth may take these with them only if they are still using them. 1 good, durable walking stick, 1 new hat, cap, or turban, whichever preferred. Those using neckties may take 2, 1 brush or comb, and hair oil if using it. Every Yeswala was ordered to arrive at Meherabad without any money. However, if he possessed any official government credential, identification card, or driver's license, he was to bring these documents with him. Although each companion was instructed to have the above necessities with them, later on, even these clothes were taken away. On 15 September, Goma Ganesh, Bhagirath, and Rusipop had interviews at Meherzad and received instructions from Baba. Baba went to Meherabad that day at 3, and after meeting with the Mandali, played cricket with them for a while. He came on the 16th, 17th, and 18th also, and spent all 3 days on the hill with the women. Amidst the excitement and hurried preparations to depart, Baba asked Dr. Ghani, who was facing personal financial problems, to compose a ghazal instructing him to, quote unquote, vent his spleen on his master. Ghani wrote a ghazal in the form of a Jeremiad, a long and mournful complaint, and read it out to Baba at Meherabad on Thursday, 22 September 1949. Baba then requested that Kak Saheb write a ghazal in reply, and the next day, Kak Saheb delivered, quote, the Sakis, end quote, pithy rejoinder to Ghani, which pleased Baba very much. Go ahead, Betty, your turn.
All right. Page 2770, The New Life. Both ghazals are reproduced here in full. A Jeremiad to Saki by Dr. Abdul Ghani Munsif. Tonight, the members of the tavern are meeting in a session. Tonight, the master of the tavern also is gracing the occasion by his presence. Tonight, if permitted, I wish to unburden my heart. Hereafter, the love and the lover and this divine night will only be a dream. O Saki, where is that promised brew that shatters the most inveterate ego? O promise breaker, excuse my impertinence tonight. How long should I play the hypocrite and play the fool? How long should I put up an apologetic attitude? How long should I listen to the taunts of people? Oh, Saki, I am not a stone to be unsusceptible. My craving for light and knowledge has emboldened me, and my heart burning is the cause of today's outburst. I am notorious in the world as a freethinker. I am compelled to shake up the dregs of my heart for you to see. The instrument of my heart is hopelessly out of tune and full of discordant notes. Excuse me if the wailing tune is not sweet to the ears. O Saki, hear for once the groans of the faithful ones. This bemoaning is, nevertheless, tinged with love. We know your tavern existed eternally. Every atom therefrom is surcharged with divine music. Anticipating your wish, I too became bold and daring in carrying to others the intoxicating flavor of the wine from the tavern. I began to broadcast the glad tidings of the advent of the sake, thereby making known to all and sundry the secret of the tavern. No sooner the lamp was lit, the moths gathered around, the eyesight of their reason God blinded. These daredevils are neither mad nor in their senses. Shocking stories are current about them in the world. In truth, these love stricken souls are neither living nor dead. On this point, it is more expedient to keep mum. Oh, Saki, do you recall to mind the plethora of promises? These, the uninvited gestures of kindness and favors, shattered our reasoning and vanquished our resistance. We were caught just on the threshold of our lives. Your advent confronted us with a new world altogether. The tempting was so unearthly that we began to swear by God. Oh, Saki, do you remember our earthly enthusiasm and fervor, that we became indifferent to the world and its demands? Beyond all heights of greatness, we began to see the falls, the emptiness. The reason was that we were promised the blessedness of realization. And as a result, our mind kept floating in the heavens. That too, so cheap. And this floating never allowed us to feel the solid earth. Oh, Saki, do you remember the opening session of the tavern in Manzilimim? When the mysteries of the tavern began to leak out, making all concerned feel dazed and intoxicated, and also the disclosures regarding the circle and its members. As a result, the bread and butter of the time made the inmates forget biryani, comfortable living, outside, and the mosquito curtains held for them the comforts of the palace of Jamshed. Oh, Saki, do you remember the postponement of your promises to June and September? We often recall such incidents for amusement. You began to evolve subterfuges and excuses. There is no one to beat you at this game. When the stock of the name of God began to have a cold reception in the market of love, you at once warmed us up by dangling Maya in one form or another before our eyes. You even created occasions for travel and entertainment, incidentally providing them with opportunities for selfless service, giving occupation to each one according to capacities. You remained nevertheless enamored of some, circumspect about some, and indifferent towards some. In short, your individual pulse reading is the envy of Plato, and the soothing balm of your breath words would easily surpass in effect the breath of Jesus. Years rolled on, days followed night, and we lost all bearings of life, worldly and religious. When the undertone of subtle but definite change in your attitude dawned on us, we felt once again drawn to the allurements of our unfinished worldly life. But it was too late. The will to do was gone. There was no time even to recall the past years. Everyone of the tavern claimed to have a special place in your eyes. Everyone now realizes the mischievous twinkle in your eyes. The favorites or otherwise all feel disillusioned. Will everybody mute, please? The favorites or otherwise all feel disillusioned. Your eyes have gone to the length of fooling even the whole world. Who could imagine the all sweeping range of your eyes, which could never stay put anywhere, but eluded all? Realizing the ever growing scope of mystery and intrigue in your working, we somehow felt that resurrection itself has been requisitioned for your service. Intellect is befuddled, and consciousness is in a whirl. The sanguine panorama of your innocent eyes would even try the patience of Job, and would put to shame my claim of being a diehard. Often you have played the game of construction and destruction. No sooner we felt settled, there was unsettlement. The breeze of destruction, however, was never so strong as on this occasion. It seems the present game implies perfect destruction. My anxious mind is perturbed with this thought alone. Let this end prove to be the beginning of the end, if there is any. The school of love for years underwent a routine course. What seized you to change so suddenly the curriculum so drastically? Mere words can never remove the age-long rust of temperament and nature. When it is a problem even for advanced souls. Our life as a whole was too full of examinations. Would it be too much to wish if you had ordered exemptions and an eternal vacation? For years we were praying for the safety of the tavern God. In the tavern we prayed for the long life of the Saki, master. The latest decree, however, enjoins upon us to forget both the tavern and the sake. Now there is no go for us but to pray for the safety of the wine glass, individual self. The ship, God, and the captain, master, have both become strangers. Come to your senses, O traveler, who remains now to care for you? Finish up this rigmarole, O Munsif. Your sorry tale is the tale of every one of us. We nevertheless give you credit for plain speaking. All the same, we congratulate your current decision. If the beloved is determined to ride the clouds of self-glorification, the lover also should reply by riding the sure steed of surrender and resignation. All right, so now we have Saki's reply to the Jeremiad by Ahmed Abbas Kak. Inmates of the tavern, do you know whose is the wailing note today? The voice evidently is of one of our chronic beneficiaries. Let him know that the tavern is open eternally on one condition alone, that the secret of the tavern must not go out of the tavern. How dare he complain about the tyranny of the sake? Can he truly say that the wine eternal has not benefited him at all? How senseless and meaningless is his Jeremiad! What mocking and hypocrisy, this bewailing and moaning! Let Munsif say Is not this outburst out of tune? And if at all, was there any occasion for it today? Heed ye all, the grace of the Saki is universal, and today no hand will hold an empty cup. It's for you to remember the particular day of your life when the grace of Saki made you realize your depression. You were one of the non-entities of the world. Worldly and divine knowledge you had none. By the grace of the Saki you became fit to be called a man. Ignorant Adam became enlightened with knowledge. Just to recall to mind the standard of your morals, was there any preparedness in you for any selfless service? Were you ready to share the pains of others? Had you the will to undergo sacrifices and self-denials? Through Saki's contact, you are raised to the status of a human, and it is Saki's grace that kept you away from uncommitted sins. You are a hypocrite and senseless too. Do not be a bravado. I know you through and through. You are only alive to your own selfish needs, and yet you claim to be wide awake. Your apparent daring is nothing but defeatism. It ill becomes you, this unhappy Jeremiah. Don't disgrace the name of free thinking. A free thinker never caters for name and fame. The tavern can never be advertised in this manner. This is not the way to proclaim the advent of the Saki. The faithful ones are ashamed of your tactics. What a hodgepodge of love and complaints you present. The Saki has not forgotten his promises, and his uncalled for gestures of kindness and favors. The thought of biryani, comfortable living, was inseparable from your life. Just recall to mind your animality. The gestures of Saki were with a view to hearten you. The Saki's unfulfilled promises had an ulterior motive for your benefit. The Saki evolved various pastimes for you. Travels, picnics, and games. These were like sweets to beguile children. These subterfuges were intended to help you discover your potentialities. In the matter of treading the path of surrender and resignation, this so-called captivity by Saki was a blessing in disguise. Can't you see the mastermind behind all this game? It wouldn't be near the mark if I were to call you short-sighted. Whatever I did was just the right thing in your case. The so-called freedom of your dreams, like death, would have dragged you down to the depths of ignominy and shame. My apparent hard-heartedness was an act of mercy in disguise. It's sheer ignorance that makes you bewail and cry. In recounting the sorry tale in the tavern, you have cast a slur on your name and fortune. Look within yourself and try to face the truth. Don't you realize within yourself a world of difference between your past and your present? If there is the slightest tinge of right-mindedness in you, you will admit it unhesitatingly, that the Saki has made an insignificant atom like you the rival to the sun. The lessons in gnosis given by me brought about your awakening. It even enabled you to assess the true status of the messenger of God. A kafir of your caliber was transformed into a true Muslim. In short, an animal like you was made a human. The world recognizes you because of my teachings. Because of me, you are listened to and respected. In the world, and for one beautiful, there is one better. In intellect and learning, there are hundreds superior to you. Just explain what particular qualification you possess, that amongst others you become select in my eyes. It was the result of that eternal link of blessedness which entitled you to be the recipient of my gnosis. The point is, where you could have stored this unique blessedness, since your heart and mind were wait a minute. The point is, where could you have stored this unique blessedness, since your heart and mind were over full of worldly trash? The process of purifying the heart is not a child's game. The ordeal of surrender and resignation is long and tedious. Your hastened temperament has blurred your vision. In this path there is tardiness, but not niggardliness. Listen to the Saki, don't lose heart. Success depends on the will to do and die. Give up all considerations of profit and loss. Be prepared to lose life if you wish to have it. The all-merciful master of the tavern will, no doubt, make you drink one day the wine of immortal life. On 23rd September 1949, Daulat Singh, his son, and Ramju had interviews with Baba at Mirzad in the morning. Adi Sr. in his car and Erich driving a jeep were to return to Mirzad the same night. But the Shendi Nala became flooded, so they had to return to Ahmednagar. How long shall I go? Maybe off. Okay, I'll go finish this. Erich was instructed to meet Baba's car at Shendi Nala at 4 a.m. the following morning to go with him to Mehrabad. He was late, and Baba became upset. Because he lost his temper, Baba asked each of the 5 persons present, Adi Sr., Erich, and 3 servants/divers with them, to twist his ear. At 2:30 on the afternoon of Monday, 26 September 1949, Baba executed a document giving general power of attorney to Sarosh. This was done in front of a magistrate at Mehrabad. That same day, Baba also executed several deeds of sale of the land, 3 of which granted Mehrabad Hill to Sarosh, Lower Mehrabad to Meher Ji, and the Pimplegan property to Nariman. The district magistrate also assisted by signing a letter of identity stating that Baba and his group were undertaking a New Life tour and that they were personally known to him. Separate, quote, identity cards were issued by the postmaster, and this is a sample of a card, Baba's card. Maybe I'll just stop there. You want to read, Eugene?
On the 28th, Baba went to Bindra House in Pune, driven there in Adi's car with Erich and Baidul. He informed Papa and Gaimai, quote, keep Saltoon and Dowla with you as members of your own family. Keep Walu also in this same manner. I am giving you this responsibility, and you will be serving me by carrying it out. Jalbai, Baram, and his family came and were comforted. He saw Dr. Ghani's family too, and consoled Ghani's wife, Katunbi, urging her to be brave, since Ghani was to accompany him on the new life. Baba's impending departure from their lives left his lovers with wounded hearts. A brother's departure can be borne, Age noted, but who can bear the pangs of the beloved's separation? But the beloved always does that which is for the good of all. Only real lovers have the fortune to shed tears in his cause. And if Baram and others wept, their tears had the cleansing power to wipe away innumerable impressions. Leaving Pune the same day, Baba arrived in Bombay and stayed at Nariman and Arnavaz's apartment, Ashiana, where he handed over the key of Meherzad to them. The property was now legally in their possession, but neither Nariman nor Arnavaz ever considered it as such. Taking it to be Baba's home, they accepted full responsibility for looking after it. Baidul stayed with relatives and Erich was sent somewhere else on work. Adi and Ghani slept at Mayor G's apartment, where Jal Karawala was also staying. Baba came there the following morning for breakfast and met Mayor G, his wife Homai or Home, and their daughter Pervin. Mayor G's other daughter, Mayor Naz, was an infant, and Baba took her in his arms and played with her for a while. He returned to Ashiana, where his Bombay lovers gathered. When Dina Talati, her son, and two daughters arrived, Baba showed his pleasure at Dina's renunciatory tendencies. Talking about love with her, Baba remarked, "One should love the beloved in such a way that even though burning in its fire, one never utters a word of complaint." "What should I do to acquire such love?" she asked. At that moment, Arnavaz walked in carrying soda water for Baba. Baba replied, "To love in that way, drink this soda." Dina laughed and took a sip as Baba's prasad. Meru's sister, Nagu, had been a constant visitor to Baba since her childhood. She was studying medicine in Bombay, and Baba called her. He explained to her about his new life and instructed her to continue her studies and become a doctor. Vishnu's cousin, Sushila Deorukar, had also been a frequent visitor. She too was studying at a school in Bombay. Baba advised her, "If you wish to marry, you may," but she never did. Dr. Alu Kambata also met with Baba at Ashiana. All of those whom Baba met were under strict orders not to bow down or fold their hands or greet him in any way. Alu was secretly longing to pay her obeisance, and when Baba asked her to tell an amusing story, she got her chance. He narrated an anecdote about how the British used to tie a broom to their leg to learn how to say right and left in Gujarati. In recounting the story, she had to salute like a soldier, and so she got her wish of saluting her lord. After meeting the entire Dada Chanji family, Baba returned to Meherzad with Adi and Ghani on 29 September, stopping on the way at Ghani's house, where Ghani picked up his trunk. The quote unquote war drums were now being pounded in racing rhythm. In Mehrabad and Meherzad, preparations intensified for the start of the new life. By Wednesday, 5 October 1949, all of the Yeswalas, as instructed, had arrived in Mehrabad. That day at Meherzad, Baba reprimanded Adi Sr., Sarosh, Meherji Nariman, and Adi Jr. for their lack of concerted effort to complete his instructions about the disposal of the property.
How long do we read, folks?
Why don't we read this page and finish?
Okay.
Page 2777. Referring to the unburdening of his responsibilities in monthly maintenances, coinciding with the settling of all the various financial accounts with Adi Sr., Vishnu, Ramju, and other Mandali, Baba stated, "Today is the most important day of my life. Take it seriously." Minu Karas arrived at Meherabad with Jalbai. Although Minu was one of the Yeswalas and wanted to accompany Baba, Baba directed him to wait for the time being and stated, "I free Minu Karas and yet include him in the Yeswalas." Minu was given certain instructions to fulfill and told to return to Meherabad on the 13th. He left for Karachi the next morning. On the 6th, at Meherzad, Mani put on a skit for Baba and the Meherabad Mandali, which all appreciated. Baba had stated that he wished to end certain activities that he had been carrying on until then. In accordance with his wish, on the 7th, Baba washed the feet of and distributed cloth to a few needy, lower class families at Meherzad, thus ending his activity with the poor. Baba continued to go to Meherabad during the week prior to starting on the new life, sometimes taking the 4 women from Meherzad with him. Balna, too, was sent back to his home on the 9th, having been freed by Baba from accompanying him due to poor health. Keki Desai was called from Delhi that day, and the purchase of the Hardwar property was settled. On Monday, 10 October 1949, this circular was sent to Baba's lovers in the East and West, informing them of the new life. Meher Baba ends his old life of multifarious activities and with a few companions begins his new life of complete renunciation and absolute helplessness from October 16, 1949. Although Baba's and his companions' new life will be known to everyone and their whereabouts will be no secret, no one should try to see Baba or his companions for any reason whatsoever, as Baba will not see any of them, nor allow his companions to do so. No one should try to communicate with Baba or his companions under any circumstances or for any reason whatsoever. On the 12th, Baba stated, "This 1 month's continuous working day and night, personally seeing to every detail of winding up the old life and arranging for the endless new life, and the continual sleepless nights have made me literally dead exhausted, both mentally and physically, and brought me to the verge of nervous collapse. Therefore, on the morning of the 16th, when I am free from everything, the reaction will definitely be very severe. And I might, in the beginning, be unable to put all my mind and energy into the new life. Baba therefore urged his companions beforehand to abide by all the conditions and stated that there would be a certain amount of relaxation during the first week. So we're stopping here at the top of 2778. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba. Wow.
Let's